I can't believe this is our first episode of Frisky Stories. Here I will be sharing stories from Reddit and from me, Frisky Jones. Now let's dive in. The story is, am I the a-hole for kicking my parents out after discovering my red room?
I took my parents into my house during COVID as they could not support themselves financially at the time. I am unmarried and have no children as of currently and was able to purchase a 3-bedroom house for the time being. For context, my parents weren't the best at parenting, often leaving me starving for days and kicking me out of the house frequently to party and do drugs. I would also run away from home if I wasn't kicked out, as it wasn't the best living there as you could imagine. Luckily, with old age, they found help at recovery center and have both been clean for around 7 years and started treating me a smidge better than they did previously. Thought sometimes they did act too harshly. During lockdown, I was quite depressed, lonely, and bored, and found myself on different BDSM websites and chat rooms. I was really desperate at first, as I only had a girlfriend in high school and we just only kissed. Nothing else. But it was the right move, as I found out I really preferred being a dominant in the bedroom, and I discovered new kinks I didn't know I had before. I met up with some of the people I was chatting to frequently, and one night after we had our fun, we watched 50 Shades of Grey. It was pretty bad and unrealistic, but I found the idea of a red room appealing, as it could help me explore more of myself through my partners. I had some spare money to throw at this project, so I decided to turn one of the empty guest rooms into a makeshift red room and filled it with all of my toys. I even painted the walls red. I started collecting different toys to decorate the walls of the room with, and even added a chair that I could tie my partners up in. The room was at the end of the hall of my house and had a lock on it that I only could open with a key. This was all completed before my parents moved in, so they had no idea that the room was being used for things other than people sleeping in it. This is the part where I may be the asshole. I was called in to work early and left the house to my parents, which usually is okay, as they just spend the day out shopping or traveling, which doesn't bother me much, though. I complained to them that they should save, as I don't want them living in my house for much longer for obvious reasons. In the middle of my shift, I get a call from my mother. She is crying, screaming, and yelling indescribable things, that I am disgusting pervert and that they want to disown me. My dad could also be heard yelling in the background and smashing items around, and I felt my heart sink. I immediately thought of the red room and hung up. Finishing my shift and rushing to my car to drive home, I had no idea how they discovered it or even broke the lock, as a lock is strong. When I arrived, I found my mom sobbing in the floor and my dad holding one of the chairs I used to tie my partners up, soaked in whatever fluids were on it from last week. I forgot to clean it. I was so embarrassed and furious that they would snoop through my things, especially since it was locked, when I gave them shelter and food, none of which was provided to me as a child. I screamed at them to leave my house immediately, grabbed a suitcase from my wardrobe and started flinging their clothes into the suitcase. They both were yelling and crying as I pushed both of them outside my house, as they had nowhere to go or stay. I said, "Good luck," and shoved them out the door. Some of their stuff is still in my house, and they tore all of my decorations from the walls, and my toys are scattered on the floor, unsalvageable. I never want to face them again. They went into a locked room and got mad at me for how I sexually expressed myself, though I do feel bad, as they have no place to stay. Am I the asshole?
Thank you IC_investment 532 for that post. Now I have to tell you. 1. If you come into my house and throw around my fun sticks, we are going to fight. 2nd, you broke into a locked room? For what, a whooping? 'Cause that's what you are going to get. Now, if I slap you with one of those fun sticks, you will think twice. That is just crazy. Thank you IC_investment 532.